Hey, you are not going crazy, you are not going mad. Well, you might be. I certainly am. I don't know about Funky Bunch, but we have slipped this one in under the radar, backdoor style. That's right, you got a little bonus Talking Joe Epp here, because what we failed to do was we failed to cover the 2019 yearbook, Real American Hero. Oh, is it 2019?
2019, yeah.
Yeah, 2019. The 2019 yearbook.
There's no mistakes in G.I. Joe, Chief.
In Talking Joe, yes, that's right. Yeah.
Let's no prize this. We intended to do this as an extra bonus episode all along. Yes.
And I think it kind of comes chronologically before the silent option, which is obviously the episode 102 contents of Talking Joe. So here you go, is a nice little 20-minute bonus ep for you, where we will be covering the 2019 yearbook, as we have so mentioned. Let's just dig straight into it, I guess. Comic talk, oh, comic talk. Larry Hama writes them, Chief and Mark discuss them, whoa. Comic talk, oh, comic talk. Larry Hama writes them, Chief and Mark discuss them, whoa. Cover? What?
There is a cover. There's more than one cover. I've got the Tommy Lee Edwards cover with Duke on the front cover.
Yeah, that actually appears later in my issue as a kind of pin-up.
Oh, well, yeah, okay. Is it? Let me see. At
the end of the main story.
Oh, yeah, so it does.
I've got it as a pin-up.
Cheated. Yeah.
Yes. But I've got the Kaizama Dawn cover, which is really cool. What else have we got? There's a Nitho Diaz cover, which I can't really make out what's going on. Is it Dawn jumping into a bunch of red ninjas?
Jumping into a bunch of red ninjas.
And this other one, this convention variant by Gabriele Dell'Otto, I believe that might have been a cover for a G.I. Joe novel, maybe?
That's right, yeah. I think it was by Max Brooks.
Or short stories, an anthology or something like that.
Yeah. I've not actually read that, but yes.
No, I haven't, but the picture, the image just kind of tweaked to memory.
Yeah, there was a lot of advertising in the back of the books at the time that it came out. So yeah, if you have been reading the comics from the IDW world, then you would have seen it a fair amount because of that. Yeah.
Yeah. Strong selection of covers here. I think they're all great.
Yeah, well, so we've got the Kaizama who's doing the interiors as well as the cover A. Tommy Lee Edwards is the writer of the backup story in this issue, and I like his style. He's done some other JoJo covers as well. Duke's looking a little bit like he's got a receding hairline on that one, which I don't know if it's just me or if it's intentional. And what I've also noticed on this cover is that he's got a little discreet little jump jetpack on his back there.
Yeah.
It seems to be blasting off, but he's firmly wedded to the ground. So, but that's all right. I like it. I like Tommy Lee Edwards stuff. So yeah.
Good covers here. I'm on my second Irish coffee, and I think it's starting
I'm
to
just starting on my first cup of Joe of the day.
Okay, good. Now listen, this yearbook is I don't know if it was intended to continue existing storylines or serve any purpose, but give us a little breakdown of what we can expect from this.
Okay, here's the plot breakdown. In the East Village, Dawn Moreno returns from Ranger School, meeting Granny Demon, Jinx and Raymond in New York. She notices several Revanche robots, which she destroys. The drones are controlled by BNX-0066, an android fitted with an empathy chip. He is in trouble with his boss for their loss and is fitted with a face mask to pass as a human while going on some close-up recon using a super small nano drone. The Blue Death X86 model, optimized for ninja elimination, attacks the ninjas in Storm Shadow's Water Tower dojo. The empathy bot is intrigued when Raymond takes a blow that was meant for Dawn, and it pulls Blue Death 86 out of the water tower as it self-destructs, saving the ninjas, destroying himself and the Blue Death in the process.
Yeah, so this is very strangely, I quite enjoyed it just because it was balls out the bathtub crazy. The storytelling is all over the shop from Larry. I mean, it's not a kind of clear path to what's going on. It's very confusing. Kaizama, whose art I really enjoy, is confusing in certain panels that I couldn't really tell what was going on. It felt like a bigger story that's been crammed into one issue. I think they could have done a lot more with this empathy chip with the Blue Ninja, but I found all that stuff quite interesting. And like I say, I actually, as soon as the Blue Ninja, these stupid drones start popping up on page 2, I was like, ugh, more Blue Ninjas. But on reflection at the end of it, I actually quite enjoyed it. Very good.
Yeah, I mean, it's playing to a lot of sort of Hammer tropes and more general tropes themselves. I think an android that sort of learns what it is to be human. These are what you call emotions. Is a fairly well-worn path in fiction, but it's nicely done.
But not in G.I. Joe. We haven't seen that. We've had the bats around for a long time.
No,
Blue Ninja's not around for quite as long. But I thought that was a really nice twist, and I think they could have made something more of it. And I don't know, maybe there is more to come because he escapes, doesn't he? That guy, the Blue Ninja with the empathy chip,
blown up.
Oh, is he?
He's blown up as he drags the ninja killing robot out of the water tower, and they
on the last
get
page
blown up together. Yeah.
Well, that doesn't mean anything. He could have.
They could play the long game with his character, I guess, as a sort of slightly different faction in the Blue Ninja forces.
But I didn't. Some things I didn't understand. I didn't really understand what they're all doing in the dojo. They're just meditating. Storm Shadow, Granny Demon, Jinx, Dawn, and what's his name, Raymond. Mm-hmm. And just remind me again where this dude came from. I know Granny took him over to Japan for training, but where did he come from in the first place?
I had to sort of scratch my memory banks as well a little bit. I was going, Raymond, which one is he again? So Raymond is Tyrone's brother. I've entirely forgotten about him, really. So Tyrone was the sort of the street kid that the blind master befriended and trained, and his brother has sort of wheedled his way into the Joe world as well, and was off in Japan training with the ninjas over there.
Right. Yes. Yeah. But then, when this Blue Ninja drones just keep repeatedly popping up in Granny Demon's shop. Different variations over and over again.
A mouse drone and
some sort of fly buzzing around, but they're not too concerned. Next thing you know, like I say, they're just meditating in this water tower, and then that's where Blue Death X86, the big dog killer, I think I'm going to put in my favourite line of dialogue right now, and it is, "I am optimised for ninja elimination."
Okay, let's go with mine now. So Blue Death says, "I don't need a Gatling gun to deal with pathetic ninja meat puppets. There is no defense against my 4-energy saber intersecting figure 8 form." And Jinx says, "I'll bet it's not as good with just 3," as she cuts off an arm.
Yeah. Isn't there something as well, or is it maybe it's in Silent Option where they say something about ordering some new bricks for Granny?
Oh no, it's in this one.
Is it in this one? Yeah.
Ellen Bogdan has ordered Granny some spare bricks with all of her other specialised fighting equipment.
Yeah, because she crushes in the beginning, like on page 2 or whatever, she's crushed I cracked one of her bricks when she threw her Prada handbag and cracked it. The art here is very dynamic by Kaizama.
I mean, I wouldn't say that I was necessarily a fan of the art for this story. It sort of services the story fair enough, and there's nothing that's egregiously bad or anything about it. But I wouldn't say I was necessarily a great fan of.
It feels like story. A bit of a throwaway story in that let's put out a yearbook that really doesn't progress any of the main storylines along, but just got an idea to showcase off maybe some new talent, i.e. Kaizama, and they pop this backup in. We'll talk about the backup in a minute after we finish discussing this, which ends up not going anywhere, but maybe that was a setup for something more. But overall, like you say, it's a yearbook. It's kind of in the tradition of what Marvel used to do when they chuck out an annual or whatever that doesn't necessarily tie into current events, but it's just more of your favourites doing their thing. So it is what it is.
And the yearbooks and the annuals generally were, for the most part, sort of pretty standalone,
self-contained.
I'll point out another couple of things that I noticed which made me chuckle. So the BNX 066 was fitted with a rhetorical question chip, which would come in handy. And actually, that was it. Really?
Right. Yeah.
Shall we talk about colloquialisms?
Let's do it. There used to be a pudding that was over-egged. You know the pudding. You know the pudding. At first it was British, but then it was Commonwealth. You know the pudding. You know the pudding. But now there's a new player in town, a comic book writer of some renown. He's using real world examples and peppering the issues with lots of samples. It's a Larry Hammer colloquialism. He's talking G.I. Joe and all its heroism. Can you guess what it is? Is it something new? Now listen as Larry drops a slice of real life on you. What did you spot?
So my colloquialism that I spotted was the word homunculus in the context of, I think it was Granny spotted a homunculus drone.
Okay, now I am familiar with this word mainly only because of Hellboy, because Mike Mignola uses homunculuses endlessly, and there's actually a character, isn't there? What's the character called? What's the homunculus in the BPRD?
Is that
the big pale dude?
I am
struggling.
I don't know. Remember.
Anyway, I'll do the Googling. You tell us about the homunculus in this story.
So, homunculus in this context, obviously they're talking about a very diminutive drone. So it's inky dinky human. Well, it's kind of a human shaped drone, but very small and fitting alongside like the Transformers.
Roger,
the homunculus. Excellent.
Yes,
yeah, very good
Hellboy,
character in Hellboy universe there. So a diminutive human being one of the definitions, but another one is an artificially made, often dwarf, supposedly produced in a flask by an alchemist. And there was this medical theory of the 16th and 17th centuries was that a fully formed miniature human body resided inside the sperm, essentially. And that then grew in the womb and, was given birth as a human-shaped thing. So it was that idea of it being a fully formed, miniaturized human. There we go. That's homunculus, and it being introduced to, slightly esoteric, language from
Wait a minute.
The English
Incoming
vocabulary.
call. Incoming call. Who's this on the line?
It's me, it's Ben!
Whoa!
It's one of the founders of Talking Joe coming to you live from the cosy confines of my Tesla.
Oh, wow. Where are you off to?
Picking up Indiana from acting, dancing and singing class.
Wow, and I bet you've got a coffee in your hand or an eggnog?
No, I've done that. I've had 3 cups of coffee.
Wow.
I've been at the skate park with Phoenix.
Now, just talk to me about that quickly, because there was a time when you were drinking triple shot or quad shot coffees from Starbucks.
Yes, unfortunately, during COVID-19, my favourite coffee place, independent place, shut down. So I was forced to start going into Starbucks. But recently, they've reopened. So screw you, Starbucks. No interest.
Yeah, like it. So you've caught us in the middle of me and Funky Bunch, in the middle of recording Talking Joe bonus episode.
Has Ben got a hot take on G.I. Joe Yearbook 2019?
What's the bonus part of it then? What is it?
Well, the bonus part of it is that we forgot, well, no mistakes on Talking Joe, that we just didn't cover the 2019 yearbook, which, have you got a hot take on the G.I. Joe 2019 yearbook? No. Anyway, we basically it chronologically wise, it should have slipped in before episode 102 of Talking Joe. So we're releasing this one to the Joe public, unawares, unannounced, unpromoted, and slip this into their oral canals.
Okay. Do you think there's any crossover with the Talking Joe listeners and out of timers and us? Trying to record Empire Strikes Back watch along podcast.
Most definitely. Peter, in fact, Funky Bunch brother Peter messaged me yesterday saying, make sure you record that goddamn Star Wars special before Christmas.
Well then we have to.
Yeah, I know.
We have to then, even if it's just for pizza.
I thought we had scheduled it in for Thursday the 4th of December, which has come and gone.
That has come and gone. I was watching The Revenant and you were watching Boogie Nights.
There you go. We all had a good time.
Okay, well, I'm at the pickup destination now, so have a great show.
Yep, we will. And we'll get on that. We'll get on that Star Wars recording, and me and Mark are going back to talking about Talking Joe.
Yeah, has Mark got a PS4?
He has got a PS4, yeah. And he does have Battlefront. Do you have Battlefront 1, Mark?
Yeah.
Yeah, he does.
I never play it, but I do have it.
Is he free tonight? He's saying, wow.
Well, let's arrange
that offline. I think it sounds good. Let's see if we can get a 6-man squad together.
That's what I'm saying. If we can actually get 6 people, we can have designated roles and jobs and loadouts. It'll be so cool.
And we have to quit our real jobs, yeah? Is that right?
Well, possibly. Not on a Saturday night.
Okay, all right. Good. Right.
Okay.
All right, take care, buddy. Over and out. Roger that. There you go. Impromptu call from original co-founder Ben. Nice to hear from that lad. We may well be getting on the Star Wars Battlefront tonight. I was going to say, if you're around tonight, listeners, join us. But obviously, when this goes out, that will have long passed. So anyway,
yeah, that was a week ago.
Where were we? You were saying something about something. Homunculuses.
I think I'm all done with the I'm monculide out.
He's monculide out. Listen, let's talk very quickly about the backup story here. Like you said, it is written by Tommy Lee Edwards. Art is by David Gianfelice, who I think pencils a book that you like that I dropped from Image called Oblivion Song.
Oh, right. Okay. It's that guy.
I think so. The name rings a bell. I think this is him.
Okay.
Could be wrong.
Yeah.
Could be
so
wrong.
That's the Kirkman story where which is kind of set
semi dystopian alien invasion kind of thing. Anyway, I think that's him. He does it. Well, he's got 1, 2. We've got 4. It's only a 4-page backup story called Infinite Cobra Prologue, which is set right after the G.I. Joe animated movie, which coincidentally we covered on episode 100 of Talking Joe. So this is actually quite timely. I really, really enjoyed these 4 pages, and I was like, right, wicked. When did Infinite Cobra issue 1 come out? And of course, it never did.
No, the answer is never.
Yeah.
So, who knows if this is something that was intended to happen and just got canned, or whether there's a plan to somehow pick it up at some point down the road. But yeah,
I mean, would you be on board for this as a series, or not really? No interest.
It doesn't especially interest me, to be honest. But I'm open person. I'll give it a go. It's difficult.
There's a great scene here where Pythona is at the skeleton of Nemesis Enforcer.
Well, there's literally 4 pages, so we could almost sort of cover beat by beat.
Yeah.
Let's
not bother.
There's Duke having a fever dream. He's seeing Globulus and Serpentor. He wakes up. He's in a hospital. No, well, he's in a hospital-style bed in a cabin, and he's clutching at his chest where he's not too long had a snake thrown through it, and then there's a sort of, they cut to Scarlet talking to Falcon on the radio, and they're alluding to sort of some sort of ongoing confrontation with Serpentor, sort of almost a warlike battle that continues, and then they cut to Pythona finding Nemesis Enforcer's skeleton, and she plucks this sort of Eclipso stone off
gemstone. Yeah. I don't know. I really like the art here. I like Tommy Lee Edwards writing here, even though it's only 4 pages, and I was well pumped for the next one. And I messaged you boys after saying, "Where's this next issue?" And it's like, "Nah, this never." I kind of knew internally that it'd never come out because it wasn't on my radar. But anyway, I thought I'd ask the question. But I don't think we can probably Yo-Joe that because it is just a 4-page prologue. But we can Yo-Joe the yearbook main story. What are you coming in with?
I'll say a 6.
6 from Funky Bunch. Chief, I am coming in with a 6.5, I think. Enjoyed that one.
And actually, let's introduce our new segment as well, because as we've been reading these issues, we noticed that Larry Hammer's favourite new thing in his stories is Molly Steel. Everything seems to be made out of it. You've got Destro's mask. You've got what else was made out of the mollies?
Everything. All I know is that I wrote a wicked jingle for this. Whoa, not me. Funky Bunch did the jingle this time. Roll it.
Hit it. Where's Marley? Where's Marley? Where's Marley?
Okay, now correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think we had any Molly here, did we?
Yeah, there was no Molly in
no
this
Molly.
issue, so...
False alarm. Stand down, troops. No Molly. Good stuff. Have we got time in this little quick bonus episode to talk about any toys?
Let's squeeze one in.
Do it. Squeeze one out. Squeeze one in. In and out, baby.
Oh dear, sounds painful.
Mark talks about toys, ho ho. He talks about G.I. Joe. He talks about all the toys from the comic book and the animated show. Mark talks about toys. Mark talks about toys. Well, I'm guessing, aren't I?
You're
so guessing. Did they make a Raymond? I'm trying to think who. No, they didn't. It's got to be a Storm Shadow. No, don't know.
Nope.
Granny.
Giving up.
Yes.
No. I've gone Jinx.
Oh, of
Jinx
course.
Aruni.
Yeah, she was in it. Yeah.
She was there, and she was in her original red garb, looking all jinxified. Let me ping you a couple of photos that you can look at on your WhatsApp. So hold that phone right up to the mic so we can ping it, and...
I think my phone's on silent. I got them.
He silently got them. Yeah, it was the silent option we went for that time. So, what are your impressions of Jinx?
I quite like the character. The figure is... It's okay. I wouldn't rush out to buy it necessarily. I quite like the mask, the head sculpt, although it's shaped, the eye holes are shaped almost like ski goggles, so there's a bit too much definition on the actual shaping. But I mean, yeah, it's okay, it's fine,
yeah,
serviceable.
I mean, it's a sort of very simple design, a mostly red look with a black belt. She's got little...
Not sure about the nail polish.
Yeah, she's got nail polish on the end of her fingernails because she's a lady. And she's got little red slippers. Her weapons are quite cool. She comes with a black backpack with two silver swords that fit in the back of it.
Yeah, that's quite cool. The dual sword holder thing, that's quite cool.
And this metal pole with pointy bits at the end, which is a Naginata. Naginata? Let's say Naginata.
That'll do, yep.
And yeah, like you say, probably, it's definitely a serviceable figure, but probably not a lot of people's favourites. I think the fact that she was in the movie did a lot for the character, for sort of, building it out and, feeding the imagination. But if you're anything like me, you're probably just more disappointed than anything that it was a Lady Joe and not a Red Ninja. Yeah, with standard baddie Red Ninja, which, would probably give a little bit more of play possibilities, given how they've been used in the books and whatnot. Yeah, I'd have loved to have an army of Red Ninjas to build out. But
that'd be good,
yep.
File card?
Her file name is Top Secret. Her primary specialty and secondary specialty, any guesses?
I think it says on the card, doesn't it? Intelligence and...
Oh, you got it in front of you, have you?
Yeah. Well, it says it on the picture you sent me.
Ah, damn it. So, yeah, it's... Oh, it does, doesn't it? Yeah. Her primary specialty is intelligence, and her secondary specialty is finance clerk. It's what you go to military school for. And Jinx studied and completed in 3 forms of martial arts from the time she was 7, which strikes me as being a little late, if anything, until she graduated from Bryn Mawr. And upon arriving in Japan for a vacation, she discovered that her family had been ninjas for generations, and she was officially initiated into the clan. Jinx was recruited for the Joe team by Snake Eyes. Don't underestimate Jinx. She has been to the secret mountain and studied the 7 silent forms with a blind master. She has the eye that pierces, the iron hand, and the heart that waits. She can see through your deception, batter aside your defences, and dazzle you with the strength of her will.
Yeah, there you go. Did you have her originally? I mean, I know you had them all, but did you get her upon release?
I think she might have been one that I purchased when I was in holiday in America, so might have been one that I got early.
Yeah.
Very good, but I don't think ever one of my core characters. Somewhat I think because of just the a massive glut of ninja-ness that was going on in both the comics and the toys. I think she was somewhat sort of not fully developed, to sort of put somewhat aside. Just didn't necessarily get a huge amount of time to breathe and have her own stories. But interesting to see that Larry has embraced her a little bit more in recent issues, and sort of has been including her as one of the secondary characters in a lot of the stories he's been telling recently. So doubtless we'll see more of Jinx.
Good stuff. Yeah, the figure's growing on me. More I look at it, the figure's growing on me. Ben had her, and I think she got quite a lot of playtime, especially in the setups when we were doing sparring of Jinx and Storm Shadow and stuff like that. So good stuff. That will do it for this special little bonus episode, but make sure you come back for the regular 102, which is coming up in a few days time. In fact, in the normal Thursday slot, you can catch us in all the usual places. That's G.I. Joe. No, it's not G.I. Joe at all. That's Talking Joe, a G.I. Joe podcast on Facebook, Talking Joe Comics on Instagram, talkingjoecomics@gmail.com, and talking_Joe on Twitter. Hit us up. Always nice to hear from you guys. But with all that said and done, we will catch you down the road.
Because we've been bonus Talking Joe.
And we're all out of bonuses. Well, hopefully we get paid like a payday bonus at the end of the calendar bonus, fiscal year. Yeah, right, yeah. Anyway,
actually, mine follows. We've got a different,
Yeah, mine comes in April, I think.
Yeah, I think it's quite common for...
Well, I might get one, as obviously in my last year I'm leaving that job in April, but I think I'm still eligible, so hopefully a bonus for Chief. But no more bonus Joes. See ya.